Hi everybody, I'm Miss Swaby.
And Mr. Maloney, what's up, what's up?
Welcome to SKN CHEM, welcome to Mindset Monday, SKN CHEM. What?
Welcome to Mindset Mondays
Hi
with
everybody.
SKN CHEM.
Yes, Mindset Mondays, okay? So, what are we going to talk about today, Mr. Maloney?
We're talking about endurance, resilience, and grit.
And it's funny that we talk about that right now because right now we are feeling like we're running on fumes, but
I'm empty.
we're climbing. we're climbing. Okay, so
It's a climb.
the episode doesn't have to be really long today. We just want to hit on some important points and then, be on with it. But we first want to thank you guys for joining. Thank you for the support, all those who have already subscribed. We're asking those who have not yet subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, SKN CHEM. You ping that notification bell so that you'll never miss when we post a new episode. Okay, I also want you guys to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Ready? So we can get right into it. So you guys might be a little bit curious about who we are. So today you're going to get that opportunity to learn a little bit more about us. So like I said, I'm Noellissa Swaby from the beautiful Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I studied, and you know what's funny? When we introduce ourselves, we usually go straight to what we studied. But we are more than what we studied.
Yeah.
Yes, there's more to life than that. But let's take a knock at it. I studied chemistry at the University of the West Indies. I majored in chemistry and I minored in French, and I'm currently a chemistry teacher. I'm extremely passionate about chemistry, and that's the reason why I do what I do. I aspire to be a pharmacist though. So I will be still using the chemistry. Hopefully still using the chemistry. I have a lot of big dreams. I want to be a philanthropist. So I need lots of money. Yes. Because I want to make the world a better place, one smile at a time. And there are people in this world with us, our brothers and sisters, who are less fortunate. And I am passionate about those things. So that's where my dream lies. I enjoy singing, painting. What else do I like? Photography. I love art. I enjoy going to theaters where you can see live performances. I just love that. And I love my students. All of my students. I teach chemistry and French. And even though they give me trouble, I love each and every one of them just cause. Don't need a reason to love them. But they put me in a constant position where I need to exercise. So we're gonna talk about today, which is the endurance, resilience, and grit. Before we get into it, you may want to know who is this young man sitting next to me.
Oh my goodness.
This is Dr. Maloney. Tell us more about yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Cheslin Maloney. I live here. I'm just playing. I'm from St. Kitts and Nevis too. Where do I start? I currently teach at GSS. I'm a physics teacher. Not tutor, not yet at least. I don't know. What do I tell you people? I was raised as an only child, so that means I usually get what I want.
Oh boy. You hear that?
I think I have really high standards, so it's not really just for people, it's for myself. So I really like things that are done with excellence. And I hope my students can learn that, at least that from me, I'm tutoring chemistry because I had a vision, and then me and Miss Way, we were talking and we found out that our visions collided. So it's just like, okay, God, we see you.
It's like the stars aligned.
Literally. So SKN CHEM was birthed because two people had separate visions and they became one. I'm not trying to be. Anyway. Anyway, what else? Where did I studied in Texas. I went to Midwestern State for my bachelor's in biology. So biology is my first love. So yeah. What else?
What do you want to be when you get older?
Right, I still want to be a neurosurgeon.
And it's gonna happen.
Eventually.
Yes.
That's definitely an enduring journey so far. But I'm loving every step of the way, especially the parts where I didn't expect things to go the way they went. So, yeah. So that's what we're also going to talk about when challenges, perceiving them or changing your perspective so that they become opportunities for growth. Because everything doesn't have to be the end all, you know? It could always lead into something else. But yeah.
Yes. So.
And I wish I had siblings, but I have 2 wonderful sisters. And my big brother.
Yes.
I have a big brother.
Yes. Oh, you said you were raised as an only child, and
Yeah.
it made me forget that you actually do have an older brother, but just that you guys were not.
Yeah.
You wasn't raised together. Okay. We're gonna get into the topic. Our topic is resilience, endurance, resilience, and grit.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you, Mr. Maloney, what do these words mean? We hear people throw around these words a lot. Endurance, resilience, and grit. But what do these words really mean, starting from the word endurance? What's that?
Oof, endurance. You want a dictionary version or my version?
Your version. Because remember, we're talking about real things
situations.
here, yeah.
I think endurance is the ability to maintain, especially when things get difficult. What do I mean by that? For example, right now, I am tired, but I know that somebody on the other side of this will get something out of it. So I'm enduring. I'm pushing through the difficulty. So at the end of it all, you know, we both get something out of it. And I'm pushing my limits. I'm learning to not just say, hey, my body's tired, so I need to stop. You know.
So what would be the difference between endurance and resilience?
I think resilience more has to do with your mindset. And when I say mindset, like not just your perspective, but your ability to not necessarily resist opposition, but that kind of is what it is, resilience. How else can I put it? What do you think it is? Resilience.
I feel like resilience is a product of endurance. So
like stamina kind of.
It's like because you've endured, you would put on resilient. You become resilient as a result of your endurance.
Okay.
Having endured, you become resilient. You become better able to face challenges as you endure them. There's only one way to get over challenges. As a matter of fact, you can't get over challenges. You have to just go through them.
Right.
You have to face them head on and just go through it. On the other side of endurance, though, I believe, is resilience. Yeah. So whatever you become a more resilient person. Whatever you become allows you to kind of level up.
Right.
Yeah. And then allows you to endure even more because you put on some mental muscle,
right,
so to speak.
Right. I was picturing like physical muscle for real, like someone who's training, like their stamina builds up the more they run a certain race or train a certain way. So their muscles, their breath work, even their mentality, like their fortitude in their mind, basically, like they kind of not, I don't want to say toughen up, but like they dig deep.
Yeah.
They learn to dig deep, and then they go through the challenge, like you were saying, Ms. Swaby.
Yeah. But Webster says that resilience is the ability to adapt, cope, and bounce back from stress, adversity, or trauma, maintaining or regaining well-being by using learned skills. So that's the important part. As you endure, as you keep going, you're going to learn some skills that's going to allow you to be a more resilient individual. And then there's grit.
Yeah.
What's grit?
I feel like grit is more or less making up your mind to do something. Like, even if it's difficult, you say, this is difficult, but I'm gonna do it. Either way, whether I fail, whether I succeed, and failure isn't a person, it's an event. It doesn't matter what the outcome is, I'm gonna dig deep and I'm gonna do it. But what does Webster say?
Webster says That grit is the combination of passion and perseverance for long-term goals, representing a determined, courageous spirit to keep working towards a meaningful objective despite setbacks, which is what you would have explained a while ago. So I believe that these three come together. So they are related in some sense. They overlap in some sense, and they overlap in some sense. And I feel like what they lead to each other.
I was gonna say, like, it sounds like after you develop the resilience, after you develop the muscle for resilience, you get grit, because then it's like a learned pattern, it's like a habit.
Yeah. So I guess we can get into.
I like this question though. So, Miss Swaby, do you think these qualities, endurance, resilience, grit, do you think they're something you're born with or something you build over time?
Definitely something that you are build over time.
Okay.
Definitely. When we were born as blank slates, and our environment and even those things that we would have inherited from our parents, there is this thing in psychology where both genetics has a part to play in who you become, as well as your environment.
Right. Nature, nurture.
Yeah, thank you. Nature and nurture. And I believe in that. There is, like I said, there's no way over it. You have to go through it in order to attain or become this person. I don't believe that you're born with endurance. A baby, a little bit hungry, they don't already start to bawl.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah. So you learn these things over time. That's what I believe.
I think so too. I kind of disagree in terms of the mental aspect, because I feel like some people just mentally have that kind of fortitude. But I think it's probably something from their environment. Like, they've been through a lot of stuff probably at a younger age, or God forbid, but most people, maybe some trauma or something. So it's like a survival mechanism to get through those challenges, and then as they get older, they realize, oh, I have more grit than someone else who maybe had a little easier beginning, you know. But yeah, as a clean slate for sure. But then in that circumstances, it's the environment that developed them. They just did it earlier than someone else.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Or I think that choice has a lot to do with it as well.
Ooh,
yes.
Talking going there.
Yes, because choice makes the difference between two different personalities. Choice is the difference between the possibility of you being one thing or another. So the same thing can happen to me and someone else, but my choice allows me to be A, while their choice, as in the same thing can happen to both of us, but I choose to I choose to allow it to make me this person, or make myself a certain person, and someone else can choose to be something else as a result of what we went through. So here's what I'm saying. I heard a very wise man say that who we become, or who we choose to become, is as a result of, there are two things. There are determining factors, and then there's contributing factors. The determining factors are internal. The contributing factors are external. And yes. And if we allow our contributing factors to override the determining factors, then we have a problem. Then we become victims of our environment.
Wow.
Yes. So our determining factor says, this is happening to me now, but I can choose to not take it personal But the contributing factor would be
Why is this happening
something.
to me?
Yes, you're victimizing yourself. There's something happening to you, and you victimize yourself and say, okay, this is happening to me, instead of saying this is happening for me. Yeah.
That's interesting, because even in enduring, that mindset perspective is pivotal, because like we're saying, perspective is everything. Like literally, I was thinking the same event, different outcomes. So let's say school. Some people, I don't know, should I go there? Holy Spirit guide me. Some people go through school expecting it to be like a breeze, or not even knowing what to expect, but then certain things happen and they become bitter. Versus someone who came, saw, and you're like, man, I don't want that to determine who I want to be, or I don't want that to change the things I know I've set out to do with my life. So it's like, okay, I guess that's a little bit of grit. This is happening, but I'm not gonna let it change my course, if you get what I'm saying. It's happening, but I'm not gonna let it sway me or dissuade me from pursuing what I was talking to myself to dissuade me from going after what I know I need to go after, right?
Yes.
But yeah.
So now that you're on that, would you care to share?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so even now, I'll be realistic. It's been a while that I wanted to be a doctor. I think that's the one that comes to my the forefront of my mind. But it kind of feels like every which way I turn, there's some sort of resistance, or there's unexpected setbacks. And then it turns out to be what I'm considering them now are like opportunities to kind of mold my character. So for example, I thought I would still be in Texas teaching right now, but then I thought I'd still be in Texas teaching right now, but then God had other things in mind. So he's like, you need to go home. So I stayed home, and then for a while I was like, I kind of felt like a failure, because it's like, man, like your parents send you, you gone, you come back and really achieve the thing you set out to do. So I was like, So it took, I'm not gonna lie, it took me like a few months to be like, there's still hope. It took being in a different environment and just like being home, kind of sulking, you know, like a little pity party. Not a little, it was long. It was like a good 3-4 months, guys. Like pity party, that was me. That was me. I was like, boy, why is this happening to me? Like, I felt like my mom was disappointed and stuff. This is nothing to the truth, like she's not disappointed. She's like, I'm so happy you're here. But in that moment, it was just like, bruh, what do I do next? Like, do I stay in the pity party, or do I pivot? And you know, when you come home at first, it's hard to get a job. You're just there checking, boy, what is there to do? Like, and then I think it was close to December-ish. No, like it was in the summer, but then close to December, you know, Parliament closes, so it's a bit more difficult at that time. But anyway, long story short, we got back in connection. SKN CHEM was birthed. But if I had just admitted defeat and been like, okay, that's it for this journey, none of that would have happened. Like, we wouldn't be having Mindset Mondays. Maybe Miss Swaby would be doing it by herself, or I don't know, whatever was in the cards. But had I like given up, I don't think half of what I'm learning or what I'm doing would have even come to fruition. It would have just been like me at home, stuck watching TV on Netflix, just bitter with life. Because like, oh, why I had to come back home, why I didn't accomplish, you know? So that's my personal experience.
Yes. That reminds me of that scripture. I don't want to make things religious.
Go ahead.
But that reminds me of that scripture in the Bible, which is my favorite scripture. Romans 8:28. All things work together for good for them that love God, to them that are the called according to His purpose, not our purpose, but His purpose. And so, I am actually in a season of letting go of control. So what would have been my struggle, what do I call it? My challenges would have been similar to yours. Enduring Yui, auntie.
I've heard.
Uncle, hey, this UE. I tip my hat to anybody who survived UE, right? But UE, I appreciate UE. I studied at UE Mona, so that would have been in Jamaica. Jamaica is a place that would really create an innovator out of you, because what you would be exposed to in other countries where everything is just given to you, in Jamaica, they say this thing, you have to make do. You have to take your hand, make fashion. You have to make fashion. Take ton can. Anyway, let me stop embarrassing myself, right? Before a Jamaican come at me. But you have to make fashion. There's something that they say about make fashion, but it basically means that you have to use what you have and make it work. And it creates an innovative mind. And that's what I love about schools like UE. At UE, they don't baby you. And Jamaica has a way of putting iron in your spine. If you don't have a spine, you're gonna get one. Trust and believe. You can't be no earthworm in another country. You cannot be an earthworm. You understand? And then during school, oh my gosh, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And oh my god, there's so many things that would have happened to me during my university life that made me feel like, wow, am I going to die? Am I going to be...
I'm laughing because it's true.
Am I going to... And it's funny now, but am I going to unalive? Am I going to unalive? Because it was a lot. And there were other things that were going on, like broken relationships, failing courses, losing my space in the honor society, and that's just the beginning of sorrows. Yeah. But that's something I had to endure so that I could graduate. I wanted to graduate with first class honors, but I missed the mark and I graduated with upper second class instead. Yeah, man, that burnt.
Yeah,
it did burn. But
especially if you're like so close.
Yes.
Man. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was able to endure university. We were able to endure university, and I know that coming out of it, we are coming out of it different people from who we were before. And we are blessed because there are some persons, they come out of university, they lost their mind, they end up on the ward and so on and so forth. But honestly, by the grace of God, we're still here. The scripture said that he will keep them in perfect peace whose minds are stayed on him. It's easy to get engulfed by the world, and the battle really is up here. You understand? And so after graduating, I did land a job in Jamaica, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know how transparent I could be on this without getting in trouble, but being a female with an accent in Jamaica makes you a target. Yeah, you have an accent, you're female, and you don't look tree bad. It makes you a target. And so you're constantly living in this fear, and you end up creating a toxic environment for yourself up here. And I feel like that's what I did. So Jamaica is a wonderful country, it's a beautiful country, it has its difficulties, but if you're so focused on the negative, you miss the beauty in your situation. And every now and again, I would get flashbacks of being in Jamaica, and those were some of the most beautiful times that I would have had, but I overlooked because I was so distracted by the negatives. You know, oh, the sun too hot. Oh, I have to travel on the bus. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, everywhere is so far. Oh. All these O's. Woe is me.
Yeah.
Woe is me. You know, you end up missing the beautiful thing. And coming back here now, I was applying to jobs. I was running away from teaching because, trust me, teaching is not easy. Teaching is not easy.
No. So respect our teachers.
Yeah. And it was the only thing that worked out. So I say, okay, God, this must be what you want me to do. Hopefully temporarily. Cause guys, yeah. And it's like, it don't make no sense to jump out of the frying pan because you're gonna jump into the fire. What am I saying there is, don't run away when things get hard. Because if God wants you to grow, it doesn't matter where you cannot run from God. If He wants you to grow, it might as well you sit down in it and grow. Because if you try to, let's say, oh, let me just move to a different country, maybe it's gonna be easy. I thought leaving Jamaica and coming home, it would have been easy. Easy where? Easy how? No. That's why I tell you guys, sit down in it, you know. Oh.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit. I don't know about sitting in it because that kind of means I've given up.
No,
But I
okay.
get what you're saying.
Let me expound then.
Yes, please.
When you face challenges, don't run because you're gonna face it in some other form. It might as well you endure that challenge so that you can build whatever characteristic God is trying to bring out in you. Because if you keep, just like in relationships, if you don't learn your lesson now, you are going to end up with somebody else, different face, same spirit.
Yeah, boy.
So if you don't learn your lesson, you're gonna keep going in cycles. Yeah. So that's really what
I like the Israelites in the wilderness. Oh,
you see what I'm saying? No.
Something that was supposed to be what, 4 days, 4 weeks?
The promised land was literally down around the corner.
Hi.
Right? Yeah. But I have another question.
Sure.
In these moments of difficulties, right? What helps you to keep going?
Jesus Christ. My family. Prayer.
Okay, so I'm hearing support.
Yes, support. Listen, they say when they say it takes a village to raise a child, it becomes more profound the older I get because you don't realize how much you need everybody around you until you're placed in a circumstance where you feel like you have nobody. And when you have nobody, it's those same people who were around you in the very beginning from the jump that are supporting you usually, right? Some people leave, some people, pass on. But definitely support. Can I be honest?
Yes.
I used to discount my support system, and hear me out. Even when I was in Texas, like you have a support system, but because you're not physically seeing them, you kind of forget they're there. So sometimes I got into situations where it was like I just had to make a call or reach out to somebody. But instead of doing that, I was just like, let me suffer on my own. Let me go through it. I'll figure it out. And I think that's one of the caveats of the American system, where it's like it's very individualistic. So you forget that you are a member of a family before you forget that you're a member of a family, that you're not alone. And because of that physical isolation, it's easier to fall prey to like negative thoughts and things like that. When I came home and everybody's in my face, I'm just like, bye. Me love like I have help, like I don't have to do this alone. And it's interesting because even some of the people who I thought weren't necessarily part of my support system became part of my support system. And it just keeps going. Like I have you two now.
Period.
I have like so many when I came I didn't really like you grow up and you and your friends go separate
Right.
ways.
You grow apart.
Right. Adulting is real. Anyway, your friends go separate ways, and it's not to say you have beef or anything, but it's just like different parts of life now. So it's just you keep walking and you keep going. Not saying you can't be friends still, but different interests, you know? And you come home and you just all of a sudden, if it wasn't for church, if it wasn't for things like SKN CHEM, going outside of your comfort zone, I wouldn't have some of the friends I have today. So it's just like support is crucial.
Yes.
It's necessary. You are not an island. You will not survive.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. You won't.
And today I was having a conversation with some of my coworkers about willpower and discipline, and how would you say discipline would discipline play a part in any of this when it comes to endurance and resilience? What is discipline, and can we rely on discipline? Can we rely on willpower and motivation? I know I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's okay. I think they go hand in hand. Why do I say that? Discipline is kind of like one of those muscles that you develop when you're enduring a circumstance. I think it's a good. I don't really want to say system, but it's a good habit. Discipline is a habit that you develop, right? Because even in those circumstances where you don't have the willpower or you don't have the motivation, you're gonna rely on discipline to get things done. So, for example, you have 100 word. We're not in high school. You have 1,500 word paper to write, and you're there checking, boy, I'll do it tomorrow. Then it's like 2 days before you're working on it, one night, and it's just like you losing sleep. For what reason? You could have been doing like 500 words a day, you're done in a week, something like that. But then you check in, you didn't have the discipline, so it's like, okay, cool. So when certain situations come around, sometimes I feel like it's trying to teach you discipline so that you can listen. SKN CHEM, if I didn't have these two ladies, woe is me. Like, half of what is happening right now isn't even me. Not even half. 3/4, 7/8, 15, 16. I'm just here. But it's like, I'm just playing. Lord. I don't mean like that.
No, you make it sound like you're not integral. Very, very integral. What you mean?
Anyway.
What the heck?
I'm just a body.
No. Were you learning certs?
But yes, discipline. What was the question? I feel like I just.
I think you answered it.
Okay, yeah. Discipline is necessary. Motivation is nice. It's not always there. What was the other one?
I think that was it.
You said something. Willpower. Not all the time you're able.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't rely on willpower if I were you, or motivation, because these things are like volatile gases. Yeah, they come and they go. And a habit is very easy to form, hard to break, easy to form. So I would advise anybody to tap into that and learn how to hack the system, create systems that allow you to form habits that will turn into discipline. But I do believe in the compound effect. So every day you do a little. You guys should read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Very good book. And the compound effect as well is another good book. I don't remember who wrote it. These are two really good books for somebody. Duran Hardy. Yes, these are two very good books for anybody that wants to become more disciplined in a certain thing. Read these two books.
Yeah.
It really it breaks down the complexity of life, and it shows you. The Japanese, they have some things there. These Japanese, they have some ways of doing things that make habit forming a little bit easier as well. Over here on the West, we want things instantly. We want to reach the top of the mountain today, but that's not how it works, you know.
Agreed. 100% agree.
Just a little every day, and it'll all compound, you know. Because it goes back to our topic that we're talking about endurance. It's going to be difficult for you to endure feeling pain constantly. So if you can make your life or make whatever you're trying to be disciplined in a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit more easier as you begin, you increase the difficulty or the intensity, let me say it differently, a little and little over time, then you would be able to endure and become more disciplined.
The elephant is devoured in bites, chunks.
Yes.
Since we're talking about motivation and discipline, our question, Miss Swaby, in those circumstances where things are very difficult, what helped you decide to stay or walk away? Because not everything you go through, you have to go through, and it's not everything as difficult as meant for you to. It doesn't teach you something. Like some things you can avoid, honestly. Like, what helped you decide?
What helped me decide whether or not it's necessary for me to go through that thing or not? The main thing that helps me is God. I have to ask a question. I have to ask Him, God, if this is not what you want me to be going through right now, remove it. And this is a prayer that He does not delay to answer. And how do I know when to go through it? It's like there's a difference between quitting and giving up. Yeah. I don't think you should ever give up. But sometimes you have to quit. Yeah. Some things you're gonna have to just be done with it, especially when you can feel it taking your life away from you. So if it's not making you more successful, it's not making you happier, if it's taking from you as opposed to adding to you, then is when I know, hey, it's time to go. It's time to quit. Giving up now is not giving yourself the chance to see whether or not it's gonna add to you. Yeah. You don't even give yourself the chance to see. Give it some time. You gotta give it time.
Like the first instance, a difficulty,
you just run. That's giving up. We don't want to do that. Everything we have to give it time. I talk about relationships a lot because everybody wants to be in a relationship. But you have to give the relationship time. You don't want to quit as soon as a little argument happens. Give it time and see if that relationship is adding to you, enhancing who you are, or if it's taking away from you. It could be a job. Or do you feel like you're growing in this job? If you're not growing in this job, it might be time to move on. You find yourself in a situation where you feel stagnant and it's causing you an awful amount of discomfort to the point where it's not building you but breaking you. Yeah, then it might be time to quit. Yeah, that would be my take on it. So you're gonna have to do a lot of introspection.
Yeah.
To know, hey, is this something I want to stay in? Sometimes it might be something that you stay in temporarily, just because maybe you're doing it for somebody else.
Right.
Maybe you're sacrificing for someone else. But there comes a point where you might have to be. You're gonna got to guard your heart. The Bible says you must guard your heart, so you gotta be careful. You have to think about what you're doing, and always consult God. So when it's time to quit, though, even before you quit, you have to ask God a question, and He will answer you. You're going to feel a peace in your heart with the decision that you're about to make.
Yeah.
If you're feeling uneasy, just be still. That's how I navigate.
I think that's wisdom. Because sometimes, let me tell you a story.
Story time.
So, I think, my last teaching job, I didn't have a car. Like, I had gotten into an accident and my car got written off. So I was catching the bus. Mind you, it's been a year or two. So I was prideful. I was like, why are you catching the bus? Like, you check? And then the train too. So it was the bus, going and coming from work. Now, I don't know about you, but when you're commuting for 2 to 3 hours a day, you get tired. Like, very tired. And I was tired. And it was cold. Try being cold and tired at the same time. Does not work for me. But yes. Anyway, one time I was catching the bus. And I was sitting down and I was like, boy, these people with me, like, they have it as nothing. But I hear bawling and complaining when I have a way to get there. I don't have to walk. So it's just like, it kind of gave me perspective. And instead of complaining, and you know, some of the most amazing photos or videos I have was when I was on the train. Like, I have one, I remember vividly, like, it was of a sunset. And I'm like, had I been driving, I wouldn't be able to appreciate this as much as I was on the train. So it's kind of like those moments where it's like, I don't want to say an epiphany, but like something clicks. But had I given up and been like, this not up for me, like, me who get a car like right now, and it was a good few months, for maybe even 5 months, I was going on the bus and train. Had I just given up and been like, let me just go buy a car, whatever, like, me can't do this, I wouldn't have gotten the perspective that I did in those moments for the things that I needed. And even in those moments, it was kind of difficult not to see the hand of God, because it's just that you have time to think. And that's where I love when you said introspection is necessary, because we tend to just go. Like, we don't slow down. So you don't have time to be like, how did this go? Let me adjust. This can be improved this way. What if it wasn't that, but it was something else? Like, we don't give ourselves, I like to call it quiet time. You don't give yourself enough quiet time to be like, let me think about this. Let me kind of meditate and figure out what's working, what's not working. And you'd be surprised sometimes, most times for me at least, in those moments is when I hear God and it's like, okay, do this instead. And it's like, oh, that's an idea. I never thought of that. And you know it's not you, because you wouldn't think of that. But yeah, I especially like that part of my life where it was like, slow down. It's not that serious. You're not gonna die if you go on a bus or a train and you still made it. Amen. But yeah. You saying something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I wanna ask this question because I think it ties into what you just said. So there are, like you said, there are sometimes you have to quit. Other times you have to, well, it's not suggested that you give up, but sometimes you have to quit. How does failure and setback build your resilience rather than break it? Like, how do you know that it's building you instead of breaking you? Like, how do you delineate the two?
Yes, that is a challenge. That you're gonna have to have some level of discernment or patterns. You have to. That's why I believe in journaling. You have to write so that you could remember. Then you're going to pick up some patterns, and these are going to help you. Now, when it comes to setbacks and failures, pretty cliche, but think of a slingshot. You have to pull it way back in order to be catapulted, projected.
Girl, your analogy is so good. so good.
Yeah.
You have to pull back in order to get that momentum to go forward.
Yeah. And failure is, I don't even like to call it failure. I like to call it a way that did not work. Yes.
Good night.
It's just it's just a way that did not work, and once you find out that way that did not work, you can eliminate it and keep looking for that way that does work.
And you're one way closer to the
You're one way closer to that one. How you think Newton got the bulb? Right? Now, if he gave up at his 999th try, You would have never
What
seen
is
the
light?
Yeah. The only light we would have had is Jesus. But there is beauty in those quote unquote failures, because I remember failing an entire course in university, but it put me in a position where I could have helped someone else. So having to resit the course, I met somebody that really needed help, and having gone through the course already, I was in a better position where I could have helped her. So she didn't have to fail. So she didn't have to go through what I went through, so that she didn't have to sit the exam again or do the course again. So it kind of set me back. It kind of held me back a little bit, but it held me back so that I could meet somebody. It positioned me, you know. And I remember saying to her that if it is, this is the reason why I failed, so that I could have helped you, I wouldn't mind failing again. That's what it felt like. And that's the moment when I knew I needed to be a philanthropist. Because that feeling of sacrificing or giving of yourself to help somebody else, that's where I found my passion. And that's where I found who I was. In the valley, down in the dumps. That's where I found who I was, who I wanted to be. In the ghetto. Yeah.
Oh man.
And I'm extremely proud of her because she graduated recently. She graduated recently, and I'm extremely proud of her. So, like I said, failure, setbacks put you in a position to be catapulted, and failures are simply just ways that did not work. And you're one step closer to a way that works. What does that have to do with endurance and resilience? I would say, if endurance was a mountain, failure would be the climb, the scale. Because when you're trying to scale a mountain, every now and again you're gonna slip.
Yeah.
But once you slip, you get to position your foot somewhere else. Because you know right there, hey, it doesn't work here.
Right.
Let me position my hand or my foot you're gonna eventually reach. So don't ever be afraid of failure. Because it's not like you're gonna fall all the way down and die and unalive. Sorry.
You're right.
You're not gonna fall. If you're not gonna fall and unalive. I promise you that much.
I feel like you kind of went into the next question I was gonna ask, where it's like giving advice for people who feel like progress is slow. What I would add to that, in terms of that, if you feel like progress is slow, I don't know who said it, but forward is forward. Yeah. Doesn't matter how fast it is. If you're taking a tiptoe every day, you're still moving forward. If you're sitting on your bum and you're just inch, forward is forward. So if you feel like your progress is slow, maybe you need to slow down a bit, and give it a little bit more time. Yes. And timing is... Sorry, go ahead. Good, you're fine.
Yeah, I started to worry, but you're just asking me something.
Aww.
So...
Timing.
I was going to talk about this slower fasting. Bear in mind.
I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
Go.
Uncle!
Go ahead.
So, the slow and fasting, right? If it comes slow, it's gonna... If it took a while to come, it's gonna take a while to go. But if it come fast, it will also leave fast. If it happened quickly, the rate is almost exponential. So what am I saying here? If I were to plant a bean tree, if I were to put a bean in the ground, it'll probably sprout after what, a week or two, and start to give me food.
Right.
After, but soon after, It's gone. Soon after, that bean tree or that peach tree is gone. But let me make the mistake and plant an oak, an acorn. Let me mess around and plant an acorn. My friend.
It will be a while.
You will not see anything. But time and space and grace. And then that tree will grow. It'll take its time to grow, eh? But when it is finished, it is finished. That tree will be standing years. It will outlive you and your children and your grandchildren and your auntie and that bean tree that you planted.
Literally.
Yeah.
And it will serve all of them well too.
Yes.
Shade. It'll sprout little oak trees. Man.
You're gonna become an oak tree. You can't push over an oak tree. You could push over a bean tree, but an oak tree you cannot push it over. It's like the best wine is the aged ones, the ones that sat with time. You see what I mean? So it's a process.
I was gonna talk about refinement, but anyway. I think all of these things together, endurance, resilience, grit, I think all of them together are refining you as a person. Like Miss Swaby was saying, ain't nobody want the cheap wine that was just there for like a couple of days. It don't taste as good, right? But if you give it time, if you allow it to sit, if you allow the tannins and whatever ends in there to develop, like it has a more profound and memorable flavor. So even to the analogy of the oak tree, like you enjoy beans today, but the oak, you cherish it more because you remember, or hopefully you remember, how long it took for it to grow, how long it took, like all the nurturing, all the effort, care you put into it, all the time you waited. So when that thing finally comes, when it arrives, boy, who's stopping you from enjoying that oak tree? Man.
And it could be applied to real life. Yeah. It could be applied to a job that you're waiting on, a husband that you're waiting on, a wife that you're waiting on.
Why you not me? No mix me.
Yes, you will enjoy.
They will come. Oh.
You will enjoy. Okay, so you've been asking me questions. Now it's time for me to ask you a question.
Sure.
How do you know when to be gritty and push forward versus when to just reset? Wait, we spoke about that already. Sorry, cut that out.
I think I could still answer it.
Yeah.
When to be gritty and when to push forward. How bad do you want it? It comes down to a decision. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to dig deep? Are you willing to go to the extra? When you need to rest and reset, if you're trying different ways and nothing is working, take a pause. It's not giving up. Just take a pause. Step back, reevaluate. And you'd be so surprised. Like sometimes the moment of inspiration you have is when you rest. Like you just stop relying on yourself so much. Like give up control, like Miss Swaby was saying earlier. You give up control and you realize, oh, it ain't that serious. Like it could be a very serious matter, but if you just sometimes somebody comes along, sometimes you just have inspiration, divine inspiration, you get the answer. Sometimes you just there and you're watching that show and you're like, oh, that makes sense. That's the answer. Or you hear God's voice and it's like, okay, confirmed. You know?
We have our audience. Our audience is saying it's like wanting something doesn't mean you'll get it. Because it just might not be good for you. And it's like wishful thinking, he says. Yeah.
The very act of wanting something is proof that you don't have it.
Okay.
Oh! That's a little deep there. That sounds simple, but whoever you are, you're thinking.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes you just have to be okay. Like, what you're saying. Sometimes you just have to be okay with it not coming to you, or you not achieving it because it's not for you.
Yes, and you just might destroy it, or it might destroy you. So God in his infinite wisdom knows. And it's not that he wants to withhold good things from you, because
Right.
he's a good father. He's a giver of good things. But he knows us better than we know ourselves, you know? So what's one mindset shift that helped you build resilience over time?
One mindset shift? Oh, wow. One mindset shift that helped me build resilience over time.
Who did you become?
I think not being a perfectionist. I still struggle with it, don't get me wrong. But I think just realizing that I will never achieve perfection. No matter what I do, somebody will see something wrong. Just giving that up and allowing myself to do things like freely. Like, for example, I'm creating a flyer or something. I like to design flyers. The first time around, it might not be great. Third, fourth, some improvements. But then if I'm going over it the 15th, 20th, and it's just like not really seeing much further progress, it's like, okay, I've gotten to a point where, nothing else can really add to it. It's kind of reached its max. At that point, it's like diminishing returns. Like, it's just gonna, So then I'm investing time and money into something where I don't have to invest it there. I could put it somewhere else. This is an attention economy, right? So that helped me with resilience because it taught me that I'm in my way sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm in my own way. I'm not allowing me to flow with the flow, if that makes sense. I'm not going with the ebb and flow. I'm so rigid that I don't allow spontaneity or even just, a spur of the moment to happen. And then that's really where life's enjoyable parts of life really are.
Yes.
The things you do unexpectedly.
Yes.
So media design, if I could have been outside walking, getting some sunshine.
Yes,
bro.
Yeah.
Or hanging with a friend, catching up, or on a
yes.
phone call with a loved one. Like those,
It's being perfectly imperfect. It's like a picture. If the picture only has pretty colors, it needs it's giving meh. But once you start putting in those dark shades, it brings some kind of contrast, and when you step back from the painting, you see a beautiful picture. So your life is not gonna be solely strokes of color. You're gonna have to put some shadows in there to make a beautiful. And it's gonna be a boring story if your life is just full of perfect.
Everything's great. Oh my gosh.
Yes, nobody's gonna want to listen to you. Next.
What have you been through?
Yeah. So we are loving the audience, and our audience have a question. So we're gonna take that question before we end. Yes. What's your question? If an island is in the middle of nowhere and no planes or boats are invented yet, how did people get on the island?
Oh my goodness.
They probably swim.
I don't know.
The very first kitchen.
I don't know.
Maybe they just spawned.
God said here.
Yeah. Maybe they just spawned.
Bruh.
But to get back to our conversation while he tells us, they just spawned. Yeah. Probably.
Oh boy.
Maybe they just spawned. I don't know. But
that was burning you.
So if there's anybody watching, and to our audience here too, if there's anybody there that that's struggling, like me struggling to ask the question, what if there's someone on there watching that is struggling in life? What is one reminder that you want to tell them? What would you want to leave with our viewers?
Boy, let me ruminate on that one a little bit, boy. Like a word of encouragement?
Yes. what or something that you want to remind them that we probably already touched today.
Oh, it might be something new.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank. It's not that I don't want to encourage you. It's just I'm trying not to be cheesy or shallow.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you think the story is over, it's just beginning.
Oh yes. Plot twist.
There's always a plot twist.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you feel like it's just beginning, it needs to close. So I think one of life's ever lingering questions is this the end of the chapter or the beginning? And sometimes it's both, usually. The end of something, the beginning of something else.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? If you just decide that, hey, I'm gonna quit, that means the story ends in its completion. Like, it done there. It done. It ends there. Like, there's nothing else. Like, you don't have anything to look forward to, right? Like, giving up. You said the story ends here. You don't give room for other things to develop, new people to be met, new bonds to be created. It just finishes versus hanging on a little bit longer, you know? And then you'll be like, oh, wow, it rained today, but the rain gave me some flowers.
Yeah.
Or there's a thunderstorm, but that's my favorite sound. You know?
I would say that every closed door opens another. And yeah, every
I've heard it before, but it hitting different right now.
the key that opens, the key that closes locks one door, opens another. This very same key. And these keys work under the radar because we're not the ones holding them.
Yeah.
God is the one holding those keys, and He has many keys.
All right.
And I also want to say that is the one on. I have to take a minute to.
Kev.
Oh, so what we do? It gone. Oh, okay. And the last thing I want to say is there's no such thing as failure. These are opportunities. Yeah, these are opportunities to discover. I don't like the word failure. Yeah, I mean, it was a word created to describe an event, but I feel like these events are necessary, right? That's where we find ourselves. That's where we discover ourselves. Yeah, you can't always win, but to me, every lose is a win. You've won something. You must have gained something from every experience that you would have gone through. Yeah, so I call them opportunities. No such thing as failure.
I approve of this message.
So I guess that brings us to the end.
Yeah.
Of Mindset Mondays month. We've made it to month 2, guys. We thank you guys so much for joining, for subscribing, for supporting. Yeah.
Can I say one more thing? Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace.
Like you're doing the best you can with what you have, wherever you are, with what you know.
Yeah.
Right? Give yourself grace.
And don't beat up yourself for things that you would have gotten incorrect in the past, because you just said, you also did the best that you could at the time with the tools that you had. The reason why it hurts now is because it should hurt, because that shows us and you that you're not the same person that you used to be. That, hey, I now recognize this went wrong, So you've elevated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you feel like you fell down, you've elevated.
Yeah.
Hey, life ironic.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's it from us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's like Miss Baby said, it's month number 2, second episode. We're so happy you could join us. We're very, very happy you could. We hope you get something out of it.
And with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining. Remember to click the notification bell so that you never miss when we drop a new episode. See you soon.